Okay, so now it's live. Hi, this is Joey from one of the co-organizers from LangFest Montreal, and I'm on a Facebook Live today with Lydia Machova, which is one of the co-organizers for the Polyglot Gathering. And the Polyglot Gathering is happening very soon, in about a week and a half. So Lydia is right in the middle of it, and she's finishing, I guess, her preparations. The excitement is there. It's the last final days, and we're glad to be able to have a chance to talk to her about all the fun stuff that she has in store for us, for those that are going to be able to attend. So hi, Lydia.
Hi, everyone. Hello. Good to see you again.
So Lydia, let's start. So Polyglot Gathering, it's been happening now for
This is the fifth one.
The fifth one. That's it.
Yes.
Fifth one. You're one of the first polyglot type of meetings, I guess. What came first, Polyglot Conference or Polyglot Gathering?
Yeah, the Polyglot Conference was the first one, and the Polyglot Gathering got inspired by the Polyglot Conference, which was held in Budapest. And at that time, Judith Meyer and Chuck Smith put together an event because they really wanted to keep the community and have them meet again, you know, language lovers, people who love learning languages. And they just really wanted to have an opportunity to meet again. So they said, why don't you guys all come to Berlin and we hang out together and talk more about languages and in languages, and it's going to be fun. So that's what I did, and everybody loved it. There were like 200 people or something. And then they decided to do it again next year and next year. And after the first 3 years, they asked us in Slovakia, because they personally know Peter Balaš, who is also the other main organizer, and me. And they said, could you guys maybe do it, you know, take over, because we're snowballed under all these other projects and we don't have time for it, because it obviously takes a lot of time. And we said, sure, we'll be happy to bring people in Slovakia. And so we are having it for the second time now.
That's it. And hopefully you will have it a third time next year, because I can't go this year, but next year I'm aligning the stars so that I will be able to go. I really want to go.
That would be cool. We're actually planning, maybe I can say that much, we're thinking of moving it somewhere else, but I won't say more right now because we have nothing confirmed. But we thought that maybe Bratislava would not be that interesting for people to come for third time. So we'll see.
Yeah, well, that's it. It's a question of keeping it interesting for people and also discovering a new part of the world. I mean, on my side, the reason why I got involved with LangFest is because Polyglot Conference came to Montreal, not to Montreal, to New York 3 years ago. It was a great opportunity. Everybody here in North America loved it. And they went back to Europe, and we said, well, you know, this is too much fun getting together like this. We got to be able to get an excuse to reunite once again, at least once a year, to do this. And that's how NAPS and then LangFest came to be. And wasn't in my plans to be an organizer, but I am.
I guess this is what
I'm very happy to be a part of it.
Right? Yes. Well, we don't get to choose. The events choose us. You know, I like to think of that in that way.
I guess so. So all of that to say, I mean, I really understand why there was a need to keep it going, because, I mean, Judith and Chuck did a great job of getting the ball rolling and holding it in Berlin for the first few years. But there was a need for somebody to, I guess, take over and make sure that it continued happening. And I think you guys are doing a great job. I know many of us from LangFest went last year. You had Steve Kaufman, you had Nicolas that went. I know Nicolas is going again this year. He really loves your event. I think you have a very strong base in the Esperanto community, and that's one of the reasons why Nicolas is very involved, because he's Mr. Esperanto for LangFest, one of our biggest representatives. And, well, not just Esperanto, he likes all languages, but it's a big thing. So the whole concept of holding it for more than 2 days and doing it more, having a lot of things that are around the event, you know, like cultural immersion and tours and all kinds of stuff like that are sort of stuff that we at LangFest borrowed from you. Thank you very much.
And I think you put it on a whole different level. You know, I totally enjoyed all the activities that happened before LangFest. I think they were amazing, and there were more of them. So we actually took the inspiration back, and we're doing more of them this year. And I think this is beautiful how these events kind of grow on each other and help each other grow.
Well, that's it.
And
we take the good, and we take out the bad.
Exactly, and the same goes for the Polyglot Conference. I saw that this Polyglot Conference, actually the previous Polyglot Conference in Iceland, had a no English corner, which is something that we introduced last year. Everybody loved it. It's like, speak any language, just not English, please. And on the other hand, we are taking more inspiration from the Iceland event. And I really like the practical email, which tells you where you can go out, you know, for a pub or to grab a beer with your friends. And we are going to send an email like that to our participants as well. So this is just amazing how these events kind of support each other in a way.
Yeah, they do. We all support one another. We're part of the, I guess, online world community of people that are into, I guess, into learning languages and discovering different cultures and things like that. I'm kind of jealous that I don't live in Europe, because I would be there all the time at every one of those editions that you had. But I mean, I'm glad that you guys have this. We have LangFest here, which is, you know, we try to bring it, give it a lot of the flavors and the elements that you guys have. Montreal is a very cosmopolitan city, so it sort of lends to that. It's the only city, well, not the only city, but it's one of the only truly bilingual cities in North America where you speak both French and English. So we have a little bit of that flavor, and that, I guess, has helped us attract people from everywhere, even from Europe, to come down to our events. So we're very grateful for that.
I met a lot of people that I know from the community. You know, it's so amazing because we actually get to meet 3 times a year now. So it's really cool. Like, you know, these people from a previous conference or gathering, now from LangFest, and I'm sure I'll meet a lot of people that I met in Montreal. I'll meet them back here in Bratislava.
For sure you will. For sure you will. So going back to Polyglot Gathering, it's from the 30th of May until June 3rd. So it's 5 days. Right.
Yes, 5 days. Okay. It starts on Wednesday. We have some program prepared, like a city game, you know, or a walking tour. We have some polyglot games at the beginning, so when people come for the registration a bit earlier, they can get to know each other. We thought of a new concept this year, which is kind of like, it's called speed polyglotting. So it's kind of like speed dating, but it's not meant as a speed dating event. It's just this idea of meeting someone for 5 minutes and then moving on to someone else. And possibly trying to practice as many languages as you can with them. So this is something we're preparing for the first day. Yeah.
You realize that we're sending our spy, Nicolas, and also this is industrial espionage. If I get any good ideas, I'm going to try to see if I can implement some of them.
If you implement them, that means that our idea was good. So I will be happy about that.
I like the speed polyglotting.
Yeah, it's. I think it's going to be really cool. This is one of the moments where you as organizer kind of feel sorry that you cannot take part in all these cool events that you thought of before, because you have to be there, you know, to help people with stuff and answer their questions.
It's one of the reasons why I want to go to the Polyglot Gathering, because as you know, I only get to see a glimpse of every single meeting. I don't get to see the conferences. I participate, like I get snapshots, but I can't really stay for a full session. You know how it is.
I know.
You also know the experience of attending versus being one of the organizers. So
of course,
it's a whole other reality.
That's right. But all the participants can enjoy everything. I think the whole program for them is set up in a way where they can just come and there will be so many interesting things to do. They don't have to worry about anything. And
exactly.
the thing about this actually is it's totally no problem if you come to one of these events totally by yourself. You don't know anyone there. Maybe you're even shy or introverted. It doesn't matter because it's so easy to get to know new people, whether through these games or, you know, some events. Talking next to someone, like sitting next to someone at a talk, you have definitely a lot of conversation topics to start with. So I think that's a It's a great
Yeah,
advantage
that's
for
good.
people who are open to meet new people, but maybe don't know how to do it.
Yeah, so Lydia, so you start, you have the Polyglot Games, it starts on the Wednesday.
Yeah.
Are there conferences, or seminars, or workshops every single day, or
Yeah.
when
So
does it start?
yeah. So the talks and workshops start on Thursday in the morning. We start with Polyglot Breakfast, which is also a new concept this year.
That's cool.
We are gathering in a huge room at the venue, and people can bring some of their own food, or we have some gastro partners that will sell some really healthy food, smoothies and vegetarian stuff, and many things to choose from. And yeah, so we will just start the day talking leisurely. And then the talks start. We have as many as 6 slots this year, not for every single time, but we sometimes you can choose from as many as 6 different things to
At the
go
same
to.
time. Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
at the same time. Mostly it's 4, sometimes it's 5, sometimes it's 6, because we try to also give the floor to people who want to present something not language related. For example, to teach someone to dance, like we have a workshop on Russian dancing, for example, or whatever people want to bring and share with others. Doesn't need to be language related. This is their space as well.
So that's really cool. So up to 6 sessions at the same time. So even if you wanted to, you couldn't participate at everything.
No.
You would have to clothe yourself. But
That's
still,
right. But
pretty cool.
that's why we are putting it all on YouTube afterwards, so people can watch the talks if they're interested in them.
Okay, and I guess you have your Polyglot Gathering channel.
Yes, exactly. So people can follow Polyglot Gathering on YouTube. It has a lot of talks. They're watched very much. They're very popular, and yeah, you can find all these talks by even the well-known polyglots in there.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Okay, what was I going to say? You talked about Polyglot Breakfast.
Yes.
For me, when I learn a language, often sometimes about learning about culture, food is a big part of culture. So,
oh yeah,
what's the what is a typical breakfast in Slovakia? What do people have? What are people expecting? If you wanted to have something very Slovakian, what would you have?
Well, it's not the idea to have like Slovak breakfast at the event, so I don't want anyone to expect like a ready-made Slovak breakfast or something. But we in Slovakia we eat bread or cereals or
Bread, cereal,
porridge.
coffee, stuff like that.
Yeah, just usual continental breakfast, I would say.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I understand, because you said everybody pretty much brought whatever they wanted to eat, and you were going to eat together.
It's kind of a social activity, not like a a meal.
I understand.
Cool.
Cool. So what happens after that? What happens after the breakfast? What do you have? Who are some of your main speakers that you're going to have this year?
I wouldn't like to mention names, because that means like, make someone more prominent or not. Yeah. Because this is actually the idea. We don't have any keynote speakers at the gathering, and we don't want to have them. So we never invite speakers. It's really meant as a space for people to come and suggest what they want to talk about. And then, when they get accepted, we have to choose from all these proposals, because there's so many people that would like to present, and we try to pick the best ones, regardless of whether they are well known or whether they have presented before. And yeah, and then the well-known speakers are next to the very unwell known. So this is the idea, kind of sharing together, like person to person.
Yeah, so, I think for me that was one of the fun things when I attended the Polyglot conference, and for being one of the organizers of LangFest, to be able to see all those, I guess, people that come from all around the world, speakers and delegates, that you can just have chats with and talk about, okay, like, where did you get your passion from language from? And sometimes you see really, really interesting things, and it's part of the fun of going to this kind of events. You also meet people from all around the world, and it's really an enriching, life-changing experience, I think, for many people when they attend those types of events. I know for me, it's surprised me the first time I went, I was not expecting it at all, and it completely surprised me. And I have the bug ever since. I want more, 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 more.
Right.
So yeah, so it's a good thing. So starts on a Wednesday, finishes on the Sunday.
Yes, exactly. So every day, basically from 10, sometimes 9, but mostly 10, because we know that people party at night, so we want them to get some sleep afterwards and not miss the first talks, because then the morning speakers come to a half empty room. We don't want that, of course.
Yeah. So you start at 10 and you finish at what
time? We have the talks for 45 minutes each. In between, we have coffee breaks where we provide the coffee for everyone if they're interested. Then we have 2-hour lunch time where people can have a lunch at the canteen if they chose for that, or they can just go to a restaurant with someone. It's really it's very free. So whoever wants whatever, when you meet someone, you find a new group of friends, you want to hang out with them, that's okay. It's just mingling, a lot of mingling for 5 days.
Yeah.
And then in the evening, yeah,
go ahead. In the evening.
So in the evening, we have some cool stuff prepared as well. So for example, the first evening on Thursday, so the very first evening on Wednesday is the Polyglot Games and getting to know each other, opening ceremony. Then on Thursday, we have kind of an intercultural cuisine night, where people can...
I'm sure I would love that evening.
Yeah, people can bring something from their home country, whether it's sweets or maybe some drinks. People often bring stuff like cheese or even meat. It's interesting things to try, and we put it all out and we write which country is that, and you go around and it's basically like dinner, because there's always a lot of food and people can try everything. We also have a multilingual concert by Johnny M, but not that Johnny M. There is another Johnny M who's going to come from Germany to sing for us in many languages.
That's cool.
And, yeah. So these are the things we usually do after the talks are over, after 6 p.m. Then we also have an international cultural evening where everyone can contribute to the program. So you can sign up on a list and you can sing a song, you can play on an instrument, you can dance, whatever you like to do, read a poem, it's up to you. The stage is yours, and it always comes, people always come up with such interesting things that the program gets very interesting.
Yeah, and people can still register now. There's still some time. There's a week left, right? Exactly.
There are 2 weeks left, actually. But of course, the tickets will get very expensive the closer you get to the event. So it's better to book right away.
Do it in advance.
Of course, always with every event, because it's so much, like, from the organizational point of view, it's just too difficult to guess how many people will come, so that we order all, the exact number of bags and badges and stuff. So that's why, so that people know. We have 524 people registered as of today.
Wow.
Yeah, it's going to be huge.
Well, how are you going to fit all those people in? I guess that's why you have so many events, so many...
Yeah, so many slots. That's why we wanted to do that. The rooms are actually really huge. 2 rooms have 250 people capacity, and the others are 150. So the people will fit in, no problem. We wanted to give more space to variety of the program, so that's why we decided to enlarge the number of program
You're holding
slots.
it at a university too, eh? Like us in Montreal?
Yes, and it's a really cool university. It's very spacious, very light. There's a lot of light in the building, which I like. And so people can hang out in the no English area in front of the university in hammocks and on blankets, kind of having a picnic. It's kind of the very leisure space where people just socialize. We have great partners, like food partners, who provide smoothies and wine and stuff like that. So
that's cool.
Yeah, it's like the whole idea is, let's hang out together and let's do it on these days. We'll have some program, but it's actually for people to come and get to know new people. Like, it's about the friendships.
Yeah, it's not just about conferences. It's about it's a lot about meeting people, talking, exchanging, and some of the people that you meet at those types of events, at least that's been the experience for me. You kind of stay in contact and you become
totally
friends for life.
Yeah, I realize it when I post something on Facebook or I look up someone who is from this polyglot or language learning community, and I realized that we have 100 friends in common. You know,
Yeah,
it's like
exactly.
it's a huge
It's
part of
really
my
cool.
life now, and it really is a community. And the best thing about it is everyone is welcome. I would like to stress this because I don't want anyone watching this think that, oh, but I'm not part of the community, or I'm not a polyglot. You know, this is often a question that people ask: how many languages do I have to speak to be a polyglot? Well, the answer is, I don't know, but if you want to come to the Polyglot Gathering, you just need to speak one language. That's all we ask, you know, so that you can communicate with someone at least.
Yeah.
Preferably, if you're interested in languages, you're going to have much more fun. But it's not like there is no entrance exam or anything. It doesn't matter how many languages people speak.
I think one of the comments that I received from people, you know, that often ask me, "What's the LangFest about?" and stuff like that. Somebody had asked them, "What is it? A conference?" Stuff like that. And how are people? Things of the sort. I think I don't know if maybe it's because we're into language learning, we're more open, or things of the sort. But I was told at LangFest, and probably it's the same thing for Polyglot Gathering. It's one of the things where everybody is so welcoming, so open. You know, everybody's very friendly. They make you feel, you know, like you're one of them. So even if you do
Exactly.
go alone, you won't be alone for a very long time because everybody's like, "Hey, come and sit with us," and stuff like that. And you find so many things that you have in common that you never knew you had. Because sometimes, I think when you're learning languages, a lot of it you do on your own. And you're sort of the language geek with the book and stuff like that, and you have friends online, but you don't have people in real life. But those people in real life, they get together at those types of events, and you find that you have a lot of things in common, and it's
Exactly.
really cool. So
this is what we get. This type of feedback is what we get most, and this is what we're happiest about. When people say like, "This were such amazing 5 days," because I got to know really interesting people and got friends, and we're in touch. And I've never met anyone who would say like, "Yeah, it was pretty good. Like, you know, I heard some interesting talks, and well, thanks." All the people always come to us and say, like, "This is so amazing. It's so brilliant." It's because, as you say, people feel very welcome. Also, what I like about this event, and I think, so the Polyglot Gathering, as you hinted, is kind of has to do with the Esperanto community in a way. And I would like to stress that it indeed is based on a lot of Esperanto community activities. So when people meet to practice Esperanto, it's mostly, I mean, who wants to learn a language, you know, like Esperanto? Usually someone who is open to meet new people, who is open-minded in many ways, and open just to make new friendships. It doesn't matter with whom. And so these events, I mean, the cultural event where anyone can share something on the stage, or everyone shares their food from the country, all these ideas are basically taken from the Esperanto events. And this is what I like about the gathering and about any event of this type. It just creates a really friendly atmosphere.
Exactly. Honestly, I think I'm really looking forward to having the opportunity to attend next year. We don't know where it's going to be, but I will be there.
Cool.
I guess it's going to be around the same dates. I planned my dates properly. At the end of May, beginning of June. It's always in the same slot that you do it.
Not always. We cannot guarantee it for now. But this slot is, I mean, in Berlin, it was at the end of April, beginning of May. But given that this is a university, we have to follow the schedule of the university.
Yeah,
and when the students are there, you don't want to fit 500 other people in there.
Exactly.
So we have to do it in the exam period, and we didn't want to do it in the middle of summer. And by the way, that's when people go to LangFest. So we don't want to have two similar events next to each other.
Thank you very much.
Sure. So I suppose it will be at the end of May or beginning of June. Yeah.
Okay. So that's in that time zone, more or less.
Yeah.
Last but not least, tell me a little bit about Bratislava for people that have never been, that will go for the first time. What kind of city is it?
Oh, it's a
How do you get to Bratislava?
City. Yeah. The good news is you get here very easily if you can fly to Vienna. Many people don't know it, but Vienna is actually just 1 hour from here. So we take the Viennese airport as kind of our airport, unofficially. We also have a Bratislava airport, but the Vienna one, of course, has a lot more connections, even direct connections. So, for example, when I flew to Montreal, I flew through Iceland and Bratislava, or Prague, Iceland, Montreal. So this is one way how to get here. And the tickets are not as expensive as people would think. So I think you can, with the cheaper airlines, you can find pretty good prices. And well, Bratislava is this really small capital. It is just 500,000 people. And it is the only capital in the world which is positioned at the border of 3 countries. So we are directly bordering Austria, and then Hungary is really close by. And that's why one of the trips that we are offering to our participants this year is going to be a trip where you visit 3 countries in one day by bus.
That's really cool. It's one of the advantages of being here, really strategically located where you can.
Yes.
I think it would be sad if somebody went to your conference and they didn't take advantage to do a little bit of touring and take part in those types of trips and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So.
Well, many people come to Slovakia for our mountains. We have really beautiful mountains, the Tatra mountains, which are easily accessible, beautiful, with amazing paths where you can walk. And we also have caves or chateaus and castles. So think of Slovakia as this little country, kind of like a fairy tale country. You know, I don't want to oversell it, but I actually love my country very much. And yeah, so you can easily fly in here, travel around. If you stay for 3-4 more days, you can easily visit 2-3 other countries, which I think is pretty cool. Each of them with their own unique culture, language, cuisine, currency, you know. So
I know one of the things that I myself, as a North American, when I first went to Europe, to Italy, France, Spain, whatever, I was blown away, because this is something we don't have here. All the culture.
Yeah.
Like you said, castles and stuff like that have been there for thousands of years.
Right.
We just don't have that here. And it's like you're walking into a piece of history.
Exactly.
Sometimes when you're walking along, it's a little bit magical.
I'm glad you say that. Yeah.
I really invite everyone to be able to take advantage of this opportunity. Your gathering, I guess, is just an excuse to be able to go down and do so much. Learn about languages, meet some great people, but also experience a world that's very different from what we have here. And I know that you have a lot of North Americans, probably at least 25% of the persons that are registering for your event are from North America, but I think they don't realize how life-changing it is when you go there. It's really 2 different worlds. North America and Europe are two very different worlds.
I would say so too. Yeah. Here, if you visit any major city around here, if you just go to Vienna or Budapest, it's just 3 hours away. Vienna is 1 hour. Prague is 4 hours from here. So you can visit all these amazing places, and historically they're so beautiful and so rich. You'll probably have a hard time deciding where to go in the few days that are extra.
That's
in
it.
your holiday.
But how do you fit all that into your event, into your little vacation? So in any case, thank you very much, Lydia. I really appreciate having had the opportunity to talk with you.
My pleasure.
I think you're going to have a great event. I really wish that I could go. I will be there next year. And,
we're looking forward to having you then.
And Nicolas is going to look forward to exchanging with you, and I guess taking it all in. He's a lucky guy.
Yeah. I see you're jealous of him right now.
Yeah,
because he'll get to come here. But don't worry, we'll have a magnificent event next year for sure as well.
For sure. Thanks a lot.
Thank you
for this, and have a great day.
You too.
Bye from Montreal.
Bye from Bratislava.